Hi everyone, it's Darren from SimNation. And I just want to start by saying thanks to all of you for following along with the different series here at SimNation. It means a lot to me. Today I'm going to cover a league that doesn't get much love around here often, GMCFL. This is our FCS league here at SimNation that was built from scratch on the 2025 version. FCS, for those not familiar, is the league under FBS. Think like Villanova, South Dakota State, William and Mary. Um, this league is officially entering training camp for the 2030 season and of course, the team I have in this league is the William and Mary Tribe. I have some connection. For those of you not aware, I do live in Virginia. William and Mary is the second oldest college. Someone I love very deeply went there. And as a result, I've always had a connection with William and Mary. But as any coach knows, preseason hype doesn't mean much if you don't use this time to fix your fundamental flaws. Today, I'm going to pull back the curtain on our training camp strategy and draft day sports college football 2026. I'll take a look at how to allocate those crucial training aspects, and just as importantly, where our coaching staff is going to focus their direct attention to fit the specific schemes I'm going to run throughout the year. Unless otherwise noted, we are going to base everything off using 22 points. For those not aware, going over 22 points will result in fatigue-based injuries. You should not even consider it unless you have someone who has an endurance and work ethic over 90. I personally like to use 95. Also, we're not going to go below 4 in any one stat. It's actually best to go around 5. If you go down to 4, you do run the chance of regression. And for those of you wondering what I'm talking about, it's the aggregate of these different pieces here. So let's talk about the offense. We'll start with quarterback, and I took the liberty of already putting this stuff in to just kind of make it a little bit easier to have the conversation. Carroll, Kelly, and Williams, they all have elite arm strength, but some of the younger guys need a bit more time in the film room before they're going to be ready to read the complex defenses that William and Mary will run up against in the Colonial Athletic Association. We're going to go with 7 in position drills to refine accuracy. If ever you need to understand what is what, you can just kind of go over here and you can see there is it kind of talks about the different aspects of that. I'm doing position drills because I want to improve our accuracy. I also want to improve their intelligence, which is why you see a 6 in game tape. To me, physical is important only because of endurance. Athletic is not as important for this position because I do not make my quarterbacks run. So just bear in mind that we'll put a 5 into physical and a 4 into athletic, weighing that endurance and the ability to stay on the field is slightly more important than avoiding sacks and running the ball. As we move to running back, moving into the backfield, our running backs are absolute track stars. Antron and Benton, if they get daylight, they are gone. But we respectfully need them to hit the weight room. They get brought down just a little too easily on first contact. We're shifting 6 of their camp time to physical to build that power, paired with six in a positional drills. Game tape and athletic training will be put at 5 just to prevent regression. There are 2 players who I do want to call out. I recruited them not as running backs, but really to be cornerbacks. So Templeton and Fields will get moved to cornerback. Cornerback schedule is they're going to move to the defensive side of the ball, likely quarterback. Cornerback. I keep saying quarterback. Now, when you do training camp, this is the best time to get the most lift out of the training bonuses. So if you're going to move a player, this is the time to do it right before training camp as a sim runs, because what will happen is after training camp, you will see a bigger jump, especially in skill, than if you tried to do it throughout the year and just tried to have the coaches build it over time. So if you're going to do position changes, this is the perfect time to do it. I'm going to lump fullbacks and tight ends together only because a lot of what I want from them is the same thing. But let's focus on tight ends specifically. These guys are really, really great. They have fantastic hands, they have speed, but the problem I have with them, if I ask them to block a defensive end or a linebacker, they lack the strength to hold the blocks. We're dedicating 7 to physical training here to allow them to get stronger and get better conditioned, and 5s for everything else. We'll go over to wide receivers. The wide receivers are practically flawless. We're just going to do 6s for athletic and positional drills to maintain separation. 5s will suffice for game tape and physical training. I don't need to do a lot here. When we get to the offensive line, scroll back up here just so you can see that. Um, Our offensive line is actually really, really good, and they are a cohesive unit. To make sure our younger guys don't get bullied by the Missouri Valley defensive tackles, and you know who I'm talking about if you follow FCS, that's normally North Dakota State, South Dakota State, in this case Jackrabbit. The Jackrabbits, who are led by All Smiles, who is a really great coach. We're focusing heavily on the mental and physical foundation, so six in physical and game tape and fives everywhere else. So let's go ahead and kick over to defense. I build my defense with one principle: pure, unadulterated speed. It's incredibly fun to watch, but it comes with a catch. If you look at the edges that we have, um, Peterson and Bush, let's get down there. Peterson and Bush are elite pass rushers. However, Bush has a strength rating of 41. He is a phenomenal athlete, but let's be honest, if a heavy gust of wind hits him, he might end up in the third row. If a team runs power schemes at us, we will probably politely be asked to move out of the way, and they probably will. So we're going to lock these guys in the weight room, seven in physicals, fives in everything else. On the interior line, the defensive tackles, they are strong and good tacklers with some intelligence. Hart needs strength training, so we'll likely make him slightly different than the others. For the rest of the squad, they need help with positional drills to get the skill, and we need to increase their field vision. So it'll be six in positional drills and game tape and fives in physical and athletic training, except for Hart, who will go to seven in physical and fives in everything else. Um, Behind them, we have one of the fastest linebacker cores in the league. Everyone is now 80 plus speed, but because they are lighter, they struggle to shed blocks. If an offensive lineman gets their hands on them, they're out of the play. We need them to play fast mentally so they can shoot gaps before the blockers arrive. Normally I would focus on physical here, but the unit needs to focus on game tape and positional, so six is there and fives in everything else. Except for Tolliver, who will get seven in game tape and six in positional drills with five in physical and four in athletic. And a lot of that just has to do with he has some very specific deficiencies. Finally, our secondary. Our cornerbacks are lockdown athletes, but we need to boost their instincts with six game tape so they don't bite on double moves. And because we don't have much depth, we need to put a six in physical to help with the durability. Can't afford to lose players here. And for our safeties, well, we have a bit of a tackling allergy, and most are woefully under strength. Allward has a 39 tackling, and Kendrick has a 36. We are respectfully asking them to learn how to wrap up and tackle. Seven positional for the strong safeties to fix that tackling, and seven weights, uh, and seven, oops, didn't move, sorry. So you see that seven's there, and then we'll have seven in physical training. They need to hit the weights so that they stop getting erased by downfield blockers. Special teams is a reliable known for us. Get back to special teams. There we go. Hendrickson is an absolute stud kicker with elite distance and great accuracy. Wimberly is a booming punter, but he might struggle with accuracy. In this case, we'll go with seven in positional and five in everything else. Now, setting schedules is only half the battle. We also need to assign our coaching focuses. And I have a confession to make to all of you. My staff isn't the best. Um, I say that, and I'll say this with the utmost respect to my head coach, Peter Rosenthal. He's a phenomenal leader, a brilliant five-star tactician, but he might be the worst practice coach in the nation. Look at this, one-star ratings in almost every positional category. He is a CEO, not a drill sergeant, because his training focus is much more of applied suggestion than an actual development boost. We aren't wasting the HC focus on a project player. We are giving it to a freshman defensive tackle, Jason Jean. Rosenthal wants run stuffing linemen, and Jean is already an 84 with 88 strength. He naturally fits the mode and doesn't need Coach Rosenthal to teach him much. For the offense, coordinator John Griffiths runs a vertical scheme, but he requests that his quarterbacks stay safely in the pocket. That makes our OC focus an absolute no-brainer. True freshman quarterback Johnny Kelly is that guy. Kelly is a generational talent sitting at a 90 overall with a booming 93 arm. Giving him this focus for the next 3 years is going to turn him into the perfect pocket passing maestro for this system. Finally, defensive coordinator Bobby Bush. He runs an aggressive 3-3-5 hybrid. We won't run that, which means he only has three down linemen. We do run a 3-4 though. Because of that, he explicitly demands linebackers who are short tacklers to clean up the run game. So the DC focus goes to sophomore linebacker Weston Sabo. Sabo is a 91 overall physical player, but his tackling is lingering at 79. If Coach Bush focuses on wrapping him up, Sabo becomes the undisputed anchor of the entire defense. Um, and the key here again is make sure you know what your coaches are good at and then decide which one goes well. If you do have a coach like my head coach who's not good at development and training, don't put him on a player who you actually want to see improve. Put him on a player that you're just trying to maintain. At the end of the day, William and Mary has a special group here. They may challenge for the championship. And if we can clean up these fundamentals in cap and let our coaches mold these young stars, I truly believe we can make a massive run this year. Thank you all for the incredible support. Drop a like if you enjoyed the breakdown. And if you want to see more videos around the GMCFL, please let me know. And also, if you want to join, the links will be in the video. As always, thank you for your time and thank you for your support.